Now, I have always said that, a spin-off is a good way to do Scream due to the fact that anybody can be Ghostface, and there are so many motives we can do that don't really need to involve, Sidney Prescott or even the Carpenter sisters at that point. And let's go over like a few ideas that I thought of, right? Now, I know recently it's been talked about of having like spin-offs, TV shows and all that. Newer TV shows. I mean. And this is honestly, this is nothing new. There's always been talks of like a Scream prequel, how Billy met Stu, and us getting to see the murder of Sydney's mom and all that. But there's one character that comes to mind for a spin-off, and that's Hayden Panettiere's Kirby Reed. With her being a FBI agent now, it makes sense why she would cross over with, Ghostface a lot. They could try it out. Have it to where I think the one way to pull all the fans in is to still have it in the same, same universe. I think it should always stay like that. Have it to where, Kirby is like, she's seeing that there are multiple cases of people dressing up as Ghostface for completely wild and pretty simple or really like interesting motives that we would have never gotten in the movies, right? And it could be, maybe 6 episodes, each episode maybe like 30 to 40 minutes long, and Ghostface doesn't need to appear in every episode, but at least in most of them. And I think that would be nice to, also it would be really good to like move on from, Neve Campbell's Sidney Prescott. I did hear that they want this thing to go on forever. That's not really surprising. If I'm being honest, that's not really news too. You know how these movie companies do. So that wasn't really surprising, but if we're gonna do that, they know eventually they're gonna have to move on from Sidney. To have multiple Ghostface try to kill her 25 years later, and I would assume that if they make a few more movies like they plan to do, it wouldn't make sense, if they make a new trilogy and then each, in the 3 movies, it's 3 Ghostface trying to kill her. I feel like the motives are going to run out. The good motives, that is, because it's like eventually any motive against Sidney Prescott has already been done. Oh, Sidney, your family's the reason why my family's like this, or oh, me and you are half related, or oh, I want to be you, or something like that. All that has kind of been done already. So it wouldn't really make sense to like try to force this motive of us and like, oh, I'm Sidney's long lost cousin, or hey, your mom was a friend of mine, or something like that. So a spin-off would be a nice break, and if they make a show about it, and I know there's been shows before, but a show that's based on in the same world as the films, it would be a nice, slow pace. Now they can like take their time instead of having to try to, put everything into the 3rd act. That's what we would say. So if I were to make one, have Kirby Reed, and she sees that around the world and around her city, there's other people becoming Ghostface. And the great thing about this is that the motives for like a TV show, it has nothing to do with Sidney Prescott or Sam Carpenter. I can see in the show how she would think, maybe she catches someone or she arrests someone for attempting to be Ghostface, and then they're like, hey, I'm doing this for my own thing. I don't really care for Sidney Prescott or Sam. And if I were to run into them, it wouldn't really matter. I don't know them, and I don't really have anything against them. That would open the door up for so many ideas, because it's like finally we are getting Ghostfaces that are not necessarily going after our main characters. They're doing it for their own gain, and there's so many things that can go with that. And if they do make a show, it needs to be scary, it needs to be suspenseful, and they do need to keep the number one factor, who is Ghostface and why are they doing it. It'll be really cool if we find out, this kind of was already a thing in Scream 6. It would be cool if, like, Kirby has a new partner to try to find this Ghostface, and maybe that partner has something to do with being Ghostface. It'd be really cool to have two FBI agents, and like one of them is trying to help their partner not get caught, and wearing the mask. That would be dope. And Hayden Panettiere as Kirby Reed, she killed it in Scream 4. I thought she was pretty good in Scream 6, so I think the real question is, can she carry a show by herself? I believe she can. Hayden Panettiere isn't new to acting, so even though it had been a while since we seen her watching Scream 6, she still has it. Kirby Reed has matured, but it's still, she's still her. Another reason why, and this is not likely to happen, we get to see as and why somebody would become Ghostface. So like, imagine a special episode where we follow this character, maybe something happens to them and they suspect that this person or that a group of people did this to them, or accuse them of something. And so now they're watching the documentaries on Sam Carpenter, Sidney Prescott, and they think, what, I'm gonna become Ghostface to get my revenge. Now, of course, if we're following this character, it might make him seem like the hero of the story, but eventually, as they start to kill, they start to kind of like lose themselves, right? Can you just imagine this? Somebody becomes Ghostface for a really, really good reason, right? They're killing, but as they're killing and doing all this stuff, they start to lose the purpose as to why they did it, and now they're doing it for fun, they're doing it for power, for for people to fear them. And then when the time comes to find that person they always wanted, they totally forget why they even got revenge in the first place. And eventually, obviously, that character will get killed off, because we don't need a Ghostface surviving. We don't need that. But then again, that's just my thoughts on it. I will make a video on them planning a new trilogy with Sidney Prescott, which I'm not gonna lie to you, it's fine, but it's like, what is this new trilogy going to serve? I'm happy Sidney's back, but I feel like as of now, they feel like they have no choice but just to throw a random Ghostface in. I think right now, Spyglass thinks if we have Ghostface chasing Sidney, that's all we need. We don't really need a good reason as to why they're doing it. And if that's the case, I'm definitely not on board for it. But comment down what you guys think. If we were to have a spin-off, what would it be about?